Fallout 76 is set to become one of the biggest releases this year by Bethesda and has the possibility to be one of the biggest games that's supported for a long time. And it's something that fans are pretty excited about. Hi everyone and welcome to Thirsty TV. If you are thirsty for the latest in pop culture, then you've come to the right place. Today we are talking about everything we know so far about Bethesda's Fallout 76. Let's get into it. Fallout 76 is set to be the biggest Bethesda game we've had in a while, and it is releasing November 14th on the PlayStation 4, Windows 10, and the Xbox One. The game will take place in West Virginia, with all human characters deriving from the same vault. While a lot of this game is going to use some assets from Fallout 4, as this game exists as an expansion of a cancelled multiplayer feature originally intended for Fallout 4, but the open world is set to be 4 times larger than the world we had in Fallout 4. Besides the typical RPG missions that we're used to from the Fallout games, this game is also going to have a huge focus on community building and rebuilding society. Bethesda plans on doing this by introducing different types of factions that players can join and be a part of, and Bethesda seems to be planning on walking the line between a survival-based game and the typical RPG elements we're familiar with from Fallout. While this game is going to be survival-based like other games kind of like DayZ, the game is going to have the option for players to enter servers that do not have player versus player mode enabled, and you can just play against enemies, or you can play the game offline altogether like a more classic Fallout game. One thing though that is unique to the player versus player aspect of the game is once you die you don't lose all of your progress, which was a pretty big complaint in a lot of other survival games where once you die you lose hours and hours of work. Fallout 76 is going to have more of a soft death when you die, where you can pick where you respawn and what you have. With the major focus on rebuilding society, there's going to be new building mechanics to build forts and other little townships, which looks like a big expansion from the building mechanics from Fallout 4, but also looks like it's going to serve an interactive capability, which is great for multiplayer. The progression system in this game is going to be a basic experience-based progression, but they're also going to have special experience cards that influence different parts of your character, and it's probably going to have some room for rewards for completing certain quests like cosmetic skins or maybe specific weapons added in. This game's also going to have a pretty extensive beta testing period, which is really good to get all the kinks and bugs out of the game before the game's official release. And overall, fans are pretty excited about this game. It looks like this might be the last major game Bethesda puts out before some of their smaller first-person shooter-focused titles like Doom and the Wolfenstein expansion come out next year, which really leaves a lot of room for Bethesda to add a bunch of new features and expansions in the future down the road. That should be an onslaught of continuously new features that are going to keep players engaged and actively involved in the gameplay. This especially goes along with the fact that we already know that Starfield isn't going to be coming out until the next generation console, and The Elder Scrolls 6, one of the biggest anticipated games by Bethesda, will be coming out sometime after that. So with a very vague and unclear future ahead of us, it would make sense that Bethesda plans on supporting this game for a while and have more of an ongoing game instead of development on massive games that take a lot of resources. One of the more controversial announcements Bethesda made was that Fallout 76 is going to have active nukes in the game, where players are going to be able to target specific areas to nuke. And while there was some concern over the addition of this feature, Bethesda has already cleared out that the Fallout 76 nukes are going to be extremely difficult to get and be an over-the-top challenge. And fortunately, you won't be able to target specific players with the nukes, just specific areas. And of course, all players in the area will know that a nuke is going off before it would actually happen. And while this game is acting as a cooperative slash MMO feeling game, Bethesda also made it clear that this game is not going to have an overload of players in one area because it's still the post-apocalypse, but every once in a while you will encounter other players, and depending on what server you're in, you can either engage with them in battle or you can just pass them or work together. And since this Fallout game takes place the earliest in any timeline we have seen so far, there's definitely a very high chance that there's going to be some very unique enemies that players get to battle against. In the trailer, you can already see a sneak peek of some of these enemies, and the art direction really looks amazing here. But that's about everything we know about Fallout 76 so far. We will be getting more information in the future, especially once the beta is released. And of course, we will be sure to cover any big information. That's all we have time for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe and ring the bell, because we are pouring out all things in pop culture. We'll see you all next time.
Hey, it's Allie from Thirsty TV. Thank you for checking out our channel. If you are thirsty for the latest in pop culture, then you have come to the right place. We're pouring out all things pop culture. Just click right here to see what we have on tap. And don't forget to subscribe to Thirsty TV.